Hey guys, this is Vanessa. Say hi, Vanessa.
Hi.
Okay, hey guys, this is Nicole.
Hi.
Hi everyone, this is Camille. Say hi, Camille.
Hi. Hi,
um,
YouTube.
hey, hi everyone, this is Helen. Helen says hi.
Hello.
Talk about like what happened, like when you found out we weren't like gonna come back to school, like physically, like what happened, like what went through your mind?
Um, Initially I was happy because I was like, ooh, no school.
Yeah,
But then it started to settle in a little bit. I was like, wait, if I can't go to school, that means I can't do sports either.
yeah.
And it was kind of a bummer because we had this really big tournament coming up for our end of season. The last tournament we had was actually on my birthday.
Oh, I remember
So
that. I remember you telling me
yeah,
that. Yeah.
yeah.
Honestly, I
Yeah.
hated it because for me, the fun thing about school is seeing people.
Yeah.
So it was really difficult having to just do everything on your own. So it was so boring.
It was.
But I thought it was, I'd say it was kind of the same, like work wise, like
Okay.
difficulty. I didn't really think it got any harder.
Oh, really? A
I
lot of
mean,
people would disagree.
for some classes it did, and I
Yeah.
have a feeling this year it's going to be a lot more difficult. But
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know. It seems like it was so long ago, so I'm forgetting what
It
it
was
was
okay,
like.
but I didn't have as many classes with friends. Like I just feel like my freshman year was more enjoyable, which makes sense because freshman year it's kind of supposed to be the easiest. It's like
Yeah.
less hard classes and stuff. But my sophomore year was like going okay. Not doing too much, and then just to have just going from one day as school's closed from a couple of weeks to like
Yeah.
going to like we're never coming back
Yeah.
for this like for the next couple of months
Yeah.
was kind of hard. I mean, like I wasn't that upset honestly to be like not going back to school
Hmm.
because like it really just wasn't like it wasn't a bad experience. It just wasn't like the most fun for me.
Yeah.
But like getting used to like online school and like pacing yourself with the work because it is like extremely different. Like you don't have a
Yeah.
teacher behind you all the time, like telling you gotta do this, you gotta do that. It's kind of just you doing it at your free will.
I loved sophomore year. Like I loved everyone in my class and I just like
Yeah.
loved being a sophomore. So
Hmm.
like going from like in class with like my best friends to like online, like totally secluded and like it was just kind of rough. Like I'm also like that kind of learner that like I need someone to like physically teach me how to do it.
Yeah.
So like being on your own is kind of I feel like it's definitely like rough, but knowing that like everybody's in the same situation and like everybody is going through the same thing, that kind of is comforting. So like I try to tell that to others is like, yes, it's rough, but like we're in it together.
Because I started basketball like as a freshman.
Mm-hmm.
So what was it like? You got on the team, you made the team freshman year, you're like, hey, what's up? And then moving on to sophomore year, I remember you're like a bit nervous or something. So what was that like? What were you nervous?
Yes, I was nervous because not only was I competing with the other sophomores for the JV positions, I was also competing with incoming freshmen
Yeah.
because both freshmen and sophomores can be on JV.
Hmm.
So I was a little bit nervous, and already there are like a lot of people trying out for my position. So I was
Yeah.
like, ooh, I don't know how this is going to go, but
Yeah.
thankfully I made it. We actually only had two freshmen make the team, so it was pretty
Yeah.
much all sophomores.
Yeah. It was like a party in that team.
You play with pride,
Same.
and you're really good at it. You
No.
on you were on varsity as a freshman, so like playing very high level. As a younger lower classman, how was that before?
I kind of loved it. Like I love having like older just like role models. So like
Mhm.
I'm excited to actually be like an upperclassman. So like
Yeah.
I can be that like nice girl that like
Okay.
supports the freshmen that I looked up to when I was younger.
Yeah.
Like last year. But like I want to be that like role model that I looked up to.
Yeah.
During sophomore year, how did you juggle like I guess being like a student athlete or whatever with your like academics? Yeah, coaches always say, teachers always say, school comes first and all that stuff. So how did you like juggle both? Because that can be hard sometimes.
Okay, it was definitely easier as time progressed because for the school season, our practices were every single day. Like, and
Yeah,
yeah,
it's a
it was
lot.
every single day, and we had games on like Tuesdays or Thursdays. Um, what I did was, when we had to like stay after school, like after we ate, I'd do my homework while I watched um,
Like varsity.
yeah,
Yeah,
like them practice and stuff. I'd have to like go to the locker room, change, and then I'd come back. I'd do a little bit of homework before we started, and then after our games, we just watched varsity play, and that's when I do like more homework and stuff.
yeah.
But study hall was a big. I'm so glad I had it last block. Like,
Bro, that's so good.
yes, because then I could just do all my homework for the day, like right then, and it
Yeah,
wasn't really homework, it was just study hall.
yeah,
So,
bro.
yeah.
That's like so good, especially when you have like a game that night and whatever, and you get home back
Mhm.
like super late, like to
Yeah.
wait and all that. Like that's bless freaking up, bro. Like,
I also had teammates who were smart, like Calla.
yeah,
We, I think, when was it? I think it would be some late practices. When we had late practices, we'd stay after school instead of going home, and then we'd just all like go to the cafeteria and work on homework.
oh yeah, I remember
And
that.
I'd get help from different people, and it was good because sometimes I struggle. So,
Yeah, a lot of time for me.
Didn't really have time to procrastinate because I had sports
Yeah,
and they would go really late. But I'd wait to do my homework until like 2 in the morning. So honestly, I'd say get like right when you get home, obviously have like a little break, but then start doing your homework right away
yeah,
because then you can actually get a good night's sleep. Because when I did that, I'd get a lot more stuff done.
hmm
And like, I don't know, I'd say because I worry about school way too much, like it takes over my brain. So I'd say, like, obviously not worry, but like care about school.
yeah,
But honestly, all that matters is that you're trying your best.
yeah,
some advice would be that even if you haven't played for a while and you're not really confident in your skills, it's okay. Like, I was also nervous going back to volleyball the first day. Um, it was only the first day that was hard, but like after that, I got the hang of it like again real quick.
yeah.
It was just like any other day how I play it. The way I convinced my mother is I said that I'd always wear a mask going in. I had hand sanitizer on me, so every time we went for like water, I'd like quickly like sanitize my hands. Every
Yeah,
time we came in, we had to go to the bathroom, we had to wash our hands. Every time we left, we had to wash our hands again. So it was good like sanitary like, precautions, and I
mhm,
told her that, and she was like, okay. And she knew that I have to have a little bit of practice before tryouts, so she
yeah,
eventually agreed to it. Hmm.
yeah. That's good.
I was so surprised. The first day of school, we got a 40-page packet that we had to finish the next class, like reading and annotating. And that just shocked me. I was
Bro,
like, oh my
that
gosh.
was fair for Mario for like AP Lang and stuff.
No, well, we'll see how it goes. I'm scared for AP World. But AP World, I think AP World is one of the harder classes So, like, one of the hardest APs, like, in the whole
Yeah.
system or whatever. That's what I've been told. So I think because I took that, I'm more prepared this year for AP classes. But for people who didn't take it, I think they'll ease you into the class, I think. Not like giving you 40-page packets to do.
Yeah.
But the workload was definitely different because it wasn't like, I think it was more you had to learn on your own and understand it on your own. Yeah. In class, we would go over like questions, anything we had. Because reading the packet it's for like to know what we're talking about the next class. So say we're talking about like, I don't know, the Roman Empire or something, we'll get a packet on that the class before, we'll read about it, and then so in class we can have a discussion about it.
Wow.
So I think that's what a lot of AP classes are. They expect you to like know it so that we can like discuss even into more depth of the topic.
Yeah.
So that's what makes it hard because you just have to manage your own time and there's a lot of things in college. So my sister, she took a lot of AP classes, but she's going to Princeton, but they don't take them AP classes.
Wow.
So like all those AP classes that she did, you know how they say, oh, you're saving money because you're not going to spend it in college, like taking those classes. She still has to take those classes because they don't take any AP classes.
Dang.
But it probably did help her get into Princeton because she took so many AP classes. That's probably why. So yeah, they are. I think they are important, but if you don't do well on it, it's not like a big deal. But yeah, the AP test was different this year just because it was all like
online
at home and
how
online.
did that work? So
well, for AP, they shortened it.
Oh, so, awesome.
Yeah. Well, I don't know what they're gonna do this year. It's gonna be different probably.
That's true.
But it's usually like a 3-hour test. It was 45 minutes.
Oh wow. That's
which
a
was good
lot
and
of
bad.
children, actually.
Yeah. It was good and bad. So it was more like so we didn't have multiple choice. We had writing, writing a DBQ. We had to write that in 45 minutes. It was stressful. I was very stressed before the test. The week before, I was so stressed. I didn't know why I was so stressed. I'm not a person to get stressed. I don't get stressed because I think it's wasting my time. But yeah, I was very stressed before that. And it's because I wasn't, not that I wasn't prepared, because I was very prepared. I think a lot of people are like, oh, I didn't study. I studied. It was because I've never experienced anything like it, I think. And so I was just nervous what it was going to be like, especially because it was different from last year. So nobody was really there to like help me except Heimler's History on YouTube.
I feel like you could do a good job of like turning your anxiety into motivation, you know?
Yeah.
Like, you know, you're really good at being like, okay, you know what, I feel, you know, anxious about this or worried about it, so I'm just gonna try my best. So with that said, like I think that's a good, you know, segue into like the hard classes because I feel like you challenge yourself a lot, and I think, you know, we've heard of like colleges liking that. So like with taking hard classes, what do you recommend for like in your sophomore year? Because I know you took AP World, right?
Yeah.
And that's like pretty much the hardest.
It was really rough, I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, how was that class?
I mean, actually, it wasn't terrible, but the tests were impossible for me.
Oh.
But the actual like work in the class was fine.
Okay.
Joined, you know, I was not really, I didn't, going into the club, I didn't really know what I was going to do. Like, am I just gonna be a member? Am I gonna be a competing member? Like, I didn't know what my goal or like what my plan was to do in the club. So, I ended up signing up for competition because, you know, our school has really good marketing teachers, and it really like made me like, I felt encouraged to do it. So I was like, you know what, let me like go out of my comfort zone because, you know, I'm like a shy person. I don't like, I don't know, like getting involved in stuff just sometimes makes me feel like scared, but I went for it. I competed, and I luckily or somehow made it to states.
Yeah,
So, and DECA was honestly a pretty big part of my sophomore year. Like, like I said prior, I definitely wasn't hating sophomore year. It really was not that bad. It was
Yeah.
just not as like fun as freshman year. But I
Mhm.
feel like DECA honestly like improved my experience. I I guess I could say like I didn't really meet new people, but like I kind of got out of my comfort zone with like competing, going on states. Like it kind of made me pick up a new interest. So it's become a big part of my sophomore year and my years to come.
What would be the advice you would give to the sophomores who do want to get involved but just like don't know how, or they're nervous, or like that type of thing?
Well, you know me, we're close friends. I'm like not like I'm a pretty shy person. Like
Yeah.
I'm just a shy person. So
Mhm.
I like to like be a part of things, but then I'm always scared going into them because I'm like, what happens if these people don't like me? They think I'm weird, maybe I'm not like qualified enough or like have the skills to be in there. So, I was like kind of thinking that like that was kind of me freshman year, but then like sophomore year I knew like, extracurriculars are important for the future, especially when it
Yeah.
comes like specifically for college. And plus they're just fun things to have. Like they kind of amplify your years all throughout high school because it's like,
Mhm.
you can go through high school without having them, but it's like another way to like network, find out more interests of yours and stuff. So I think it's
Absolutely.
definitely a good idea. So I would just tell people like, even if they're shy, it's not their thing. They'd rather just, maybe there are people that are like, I just do my part by going to school and I'm like out, like I'm
That's
leaving, like
it.
that's it. Like
Yeah.
maybe I'll like do sports or something, but like that's it. Like I'm not wasting my time doing clubs.
Mhm.
It's clubs definitely aren't a waste of time. It's just good all around. You get to meet new people, skills. It looks impressive. And like I think sophomore year and freshman year, but like sophomore year is like a good time to like get involved because it's like, I could understand why like people don't join freshman year because it's like a lot of already going on with
Mhm.
that. So it's like they maybe didn't get enough time or like had enough information about like, the clubs that their school offers.
Yeah.
But like sophomore year, like it's your second year, you're getting like, you're already kind of used to most of like, like the routine and stuff. And
Mhm.
like your schedule isn't as busy as it probably will be like junior year, so it's like a good opportunity. Like it's kind of like
Mhm.
an open door because when you get to junior year, I can't speak for most people, but like or for everybody, but most people like commonly say that junior year is the hardest year. It's like
Yeah.
some people their worst year, the most stressful year, and it's going to be like you could still join like a new club junior year, but it's going to be like more stressful. It might not be like at the front of your head. You might be focusing, wow, I got to focus on my academics, my mental health and stuff. But
Mhm.
like sophomore year is like normally a lighter year for people. So it's like a good opportunity to get yourself situated in something before you go into like a harder, more difficult year. So I would just say, you know, go out of your like comfort zone whether you're shy or not because like even if you like are super shy you join a club at least say like at least fill out that application form for the club and join it. If you get in there you're not comfortable, you don't have to do like you don't have to compete, you don't have to like be super out there with a club, but I just say
Yeah.
join it so you can get to know more about it and
Mhm.
then see how comfortable you are with like putting in like time into the club. So I would just say go for it either way.
I knew I had to do some classes, so I prioritized other classes over some. Like for instance, my art class. I knew I had no tests in that, or I didn't have any projects due. It was just for fun more than my AP class, where I had a
Mhm.
test at the end of the year and I had to study for that. So I guess I would prioritize my important classes and do that work first and get that out of the way, and then I would do like art, which is more fun for me. And so
Yeah.
that way I had like time to like get away from the hard work and then do like art or something like that, which is good because I think you have to have like a hobby or something, especially when we're all online doing all this school stuff. I think that's an important thing. Yeah. If you pay attention in class, you don't have to work as hard at home.
Exactly. And like asking your teacher questions when you have them then, because I feel like I would forget a question and I would forget how to do a certain thing. So like asking questions 100%. But I didn't study like barely, and I would say I wish, even though I got by, even though I was doing very well, I wish I would have built up that just, I mean, I had work ethic, but just that habit of, saying, okay, I'm going to say this vocab list for at least an hour, or I'm going to, just like at least little increments, to build up. So I would say, yeah, people don't study and they're like, oh, we cool, like whatever. But, I don't know. I feel like I should have studied more. And now it's like, oh, now I actually have to take on myself, be like, okay, this year I really have to like grind and like get my stuff down, and just be more aware of, of that, because there's actual consequences now that I'm getting closer and the ball's like rolling faster and it's college and stuff. So, how do you like usually study for like your like core classes, your like prioritized classes, your important ones?
Well, like you, I didn't really study that much when I was in middle school or freshman year or whatever. I mean, I still don't study as much just because I think it's just important to pay attention in class and, like you said, ask questions, because if you do that and you really understand and grasp the topic, you don't have to work as hard at home. Especially if you have extracurriculars and whatever. I think if you really want to learn, then you'll learn and not just focus on your grade as much, because I think grades are like, oh, I want to get an A, so I have to do this and this, but you're not actually learning it. You're just putting it in your head and then it leaves after you take the test or whatever. But yeah, and then other ways to study, I think, is just get your things done, like without procrastinating, because I think procrastinating gives you more stress and it gives you like anxiety, because then you have to, because you're like, oh, I have to cram for this test because I didn't study earlier. Or even if you didn't understand like a topic in school or in class, like go home and then learn it a little bit on your own and then study. Like say you have a week before a test, study a little bit every day so it's easy. It makes it easier on yourself. I think school is just, a lot of kids in school make it harder on themselves with that. Like they don't need to, but they still do, because I mean, I do. I make it harder on myself, but it could be so much easier, but we just make it harder on ourselves. So it gives us more stress, and then it all builds up, and then we're like dying at the end of the year. Especially in the beginning of the year. It's always in the beginning of the year. I'm like, I'm gonna work hard this year. I'm gonna get everything done, and then by the end of the year, it's like, I don't know. But yeah, in the beginning of the year, I think if you start strong, at least it'll carry you through the rest of the year, or at least it'll try to carry you throughout the rest of the year. But just like giving yourself reminders throughout the year that these grades, they're not like the end of the world if you don't do well on a test, but it's just like you have to work hard for the things that you want, and if you do well, then you don't have to try as hard later. If you do well now, then you don't have to try as hard later. So.
And like if you have that like anxiety and worry, like that's not gonna affect other people, that's like affecting you. I feel like you have to like kind of take care of yourself with like, have that attitude, I can't fail, but if I do mess up, it's okay and I have to keep on going. Also accountability. I remember like you helped me so much with that, with bio and like Spanish and stuff. So that was so great having you to like help me out and be like, hey, like pushing each other to be better.
See, that's the thing. Yeah, your peers can help you a lot too.
Yeah, for sure. So surrounding yourself with the right people is so important.
Which is kind of difficult to do during online school. But at the same time, you can like FaceTime your friends and text them, because I know I'd always be texting you really late.
Me too. Yeah, for sure. What is going on? I still felt like a
freshman, and
Mhm.
I still kind of struggled with like not imposter syndrome. That's like a really hardcore thing, but like kind of just like I don't really know where my place is. It's like kind of in the middle of everyone, and like
Yeah.
you kind of feel like you're not that you're not important, but you're just not prioritized, and like so like what can you expect from like sophomore year basically, or what happened, or
I think
what were your thoughts coming in?
coming in, I did still feel like freshman. I mean, I still feel like freshman now.
Yeah.
I feel like we didn't finish our year, so I still feel like
That's
underclassmen.
so
But
true.
I think it's just important to like have your group of friends, just because we all feel the same way. It's not just you. I think
That's
we
true.
all feel like we're still young and we're still learning. And even I was talking to my coworkers, and they were like, "Yeah, this underclassmen, they're still young and they don't really know anything."
I feel so
Yeah, it's
bad.
not just like one person, and
Mhm.
I think it's just the whole grade, and then we'll learn together. I think that's important to know so we can support each other
That's so
and just know that the teachers like understand they've had these kids the same age for the past how many years they've been teaching.
that's so true. Yeah.
So you should definitely join a club that maybe your friend runs, because even if it's not like an interest or something that relates to you, you can learn good stuff, because like you can learn like leadership stuff because you got a friend that's leading a club. You know, you can learn like good skills from that, and especially if it is like an interest of yours, you should definitely join and become more involved, because I mean, I wasn't really in that many clubs this year. It really was honestly like DECA and your club.
Yeah.
So I know I did a bad part because I did not attend that many
No,
meetings.
that's
I'm just
fine.
like my family when it comes to like morning, it's just
It's,
chaotic. So like
yeah, I know. I totally
I
understand.
tried my best like to come.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would definitely say just like if you have a friend or you know someone that's running a club, or you know like if you have like a teacher that you like and they're like sponsoring a club, you should also join that too, because I
Mhm.
can speak on that. Like, you know, knowing a teacher that you really like is running a club, even
Yeah.
though the club may sound like not like it might not really apply to you, it can
Mhm.
honestly like really change your like perspective on it, because you know, like when you have a good teacher running it, like everything normally goes good. So I
Yeah.
would just say that, you know, got a friend, I got a teacher, like some person that you know and trust, you should definitely consider like joining their club.
Mostly focus on school, but I like on the weekends I dedicate that to social
Yeah.
stuff.
Having that time for like yourself and
Yeah,
people.
because I feel like it kind of affected my mental health because I love being around people,
Yeah.
and that's why I'm mad that we don't have
Line.
school in person.
Yeah.
But yeah, and also I love doing homework. Oh, actually, it depends on what kind of homework I'm doing, but I like doing homework with people
Mhm.
because
Yeah.
then
When
I'm like,
we were doing the quizzes and all that stuff, that was super fun.
and sometimes if they're like major stuff, then I'll do those three things. But if it's like small stuff, like just a worksheet, I'll
Mhm.
do a lot of stuff so that it feels like I'm getting a lot of stuff done and it motivates you to get all of it done because I like
Yeah.
checking off stuff.
Mhm. Yeah.
But sometimes I write too much down and then I get like mad at myself that I didn't finish all of it.
Mhm.
So I'm starting to do less each day.
That's good.
Yeah, I write down how long I want to spend on everything.
Okay.
Normally, that doesn't happen, but just like planning it out makes you feel like you're gonna get a lot of stuff done.
Mhm.
And so, I don't know, just writing stuff down. Say, like, I normally do 3 major things a day.
Okay.
I always give myself unrealistic expectations,
Well,
but
I feel like quarantine is telling me to like get better in that and just realize like I'm not gonna get everything done in one day, but like you said, as long as I get these three things done or like at least something, then I know like that's a win for me. And I feel like figuring
yeah.
out what a win or what a successful day looks like for each because it's
You're
subjective.
freshmen. We're still freshmen. We thought we were like alone in this, but like even upperclassmen, if you ask them, they'll help you unless they're like mean people. But I think another thing is just don't stress about things. Don't get anxious or don't worry because it's like not that big of a deal, like small things. I think you have to set your priorities, but just don't make a big deal out of things that won't really matter later in your future. Like a small project, if you don't do well on it, don't worry about it because it's not gonna affect you.
And it's
that
not
much.
worth it anyway to like
It's not
you
worth
said,
it.
it's not worth your time. You have better things to do, and it
Yeah.
doesn't help in like any way too. So
Mhm.
yeah, that's really good. That's really good. Well, thank you, Calla.
It's in God's hands.
Yes, it is. It is. That's a good segue. That was a great segue.
Read your mind.
We both took leadership roles as, for FCA, Fellowship of Christian Athletes, for during our sophomore year. And that was pretty. We were a lot of like a part of it, like a lot. So we were very invested. So I do want to talk about, having those like leadership expectations on you, and how like just as an underclassman, how did you like take the reins and just gonna be like, okay, like I can do this. God has put this gift and this leadership role in me, and I know like He's equipped me to do that. How did you like kind of you were so open to like leading and helping us out, which I'm so grateful for. So, and I'm excited for this year, even though it's gonna look different. But
I know.
what was your like? I'm just saying, what was your experience, with taking a leadership role as a sophomore, I guess, which is not expected as much.
Yeah, I think like definitely it was a challenge. Like in the beginning, just like talking openly about my faith, because I was kind of like, who am I to share my faith? Like I'm not the perfect ideal Christian. No one is, but like I really just looked at like you and like everybody else, like leaders, like Coach Matt. Like I just saw how you guys were so open and like what you all did to help others and just like your loving and like open hearts. That really inspired me. And like I just like I don't know. It was just like it was definitely a challenge like in my faith to like grow closer to God so I can share it with others. And I think that like I'm still adapting to that. But like I think it's good for anyone's faith to like to challenge yourself in that way, because like God has a plan and God put me in this position to help others and to like spread His word. So like I want to do all that I can to do that. So like it's definitely like a challenge, but it's also like really rewarding because like every day I'm going closer with God, like each meeting.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. That like everybody on the team had something that they were like really good at. Like you were like so good with like just like organizing everything and like doing graphics. Juliana was just like always there to help.
Yeah.
Connor was like good at just leading. Tyler with the games. Jack with the prayers. Like everybody had their little thing. So like I was able to like look at myself and be like, okay, I want that quality in that person, that quality in that person. Like God gave them that quality, and like I just like God put them there for a reason, for me to learn and for me to grow from that. So like hopefully I can grow next year.
Or this every sophomore, maybe even freshman that's, being challenged to take a leadership role, being challenged to step up, maybe, to lead your peers. It's a great thing. It's a great opportunity.
And like especially going into like freshman year, like you don't really know who's on the same like level of faith as you. Like like you don't really know where people stand. So like just growing a community, it just brings you so much like peace and confidence that like I'm not alone in this.
Yeah, that's so good.
Which I loved. Don't stress yourself out too much. Life is good. God is good. You're good. Get up,
sister. That's a great note to end on. I love that. Oh my gosh.